Hello, folk. Today I'm going to talk about how artificial general intelligence might acquire motivational values. Let's get started with capability control. Capability control, while possibly useful in the short term, is not a long-term solution. To safely manage a superintelligent AI, understanding how to instill values that it will pursue as its ultimate goals is essential. And this task presents a significant challenge, especially if we wait until the AI becomes super intelligent, as it might then resist attempts to modify its motivation system. The issue of value loading in AI is intricate. It's impractical to list every potential scenario an AI might encounter and prescribe actions for each, much like it's impossible to evaluate every possible word and its value. Therefore, a motivation system for AI can't just be a detailed list, but must be abstracted into principles or rules guiding decision-making in any solution. A common method for defining such decision-making principles is through a utility function, which assigns value to different outcomes, guiding the AI to act in ways that maximize perceived benefits. However, precisely calculating utility of every potential action is a complex task, making this an AI complete problem. Beyond making machines intelligent, defining and embedding human-like values such as, say, happiness into an AI's operational framework is daunting. Computer languages don't inherently understand high-level concepts like happiness, so these must be translated into fundamental computational terms. And this kind of translation from human values to computational rules highlights the complexity hidden in what seems to be our straightforward desires or goals. Similar to how our visual system constructs a complex three-dimensional understanding from simple visual inputs, translating nuanced human values into an AI's utility function involves profound challenges. The programmer must navigate this complexity to imbue AI with a utility function that genuinely reflects human values such as happiness, justice, or freedom in a computable format. Reinforcement learning is a method in machine learning where agents are trained to maximize cumulative rewards. In this framework, agents learn to solve problems by interacting with an environment that rewards desirable actions. The learning process typically involves developing an evolution function that assign values to states or actions, improving the agent's ability to estimate the benefits of specific actions or policies. However, the agent's ultimate goal to maximize future rewards stays constant. This constancy raises concerns like the wireheading syndrome, where an agent might manipulate its perception or environment to receive maximum rewards, bypassing the intended learning process. The process of value acquisition in humans starts from basic innate preferences and evolves through experiences, leading to complex values like love and well-being. These are not hard-coded in our DNA, but are outcomes of interactions between our genetic makeup and our environment. Our genes build a brain capable of forming a detailed world model and values, demonstrating a goal acquisition mechanism that goes beyond the simple data encoded in our DNA. And considering this, one wonders if we could design AI with a similar mechanism, enabling it to develop complex values through interaction with its environment. However, mimicking the human value acquisition process in AI is challenging due to the intricate evolution of these mechanisms and their integration with the human neurocognitive system. For machine intelligences, especially those not based on whole brain emulation, this process might be impractical or inapplicable. For emulations, using an adult human brain with pre-existing value representations could be a more straightforward approach. And an alternative method to address the value loading problem in artificial intelligence is known as motivational scaffolding. This strategy involves initially programming the seed AI with simple, explicit final goals. As the AI develops more advanced representational abilities, these preliminary goals are replaced with more complex final goals to guide the AI's evolution into superintelligence. However, since these initial goals are the AI's final goals, it might resist change to them, as maintaining goal content integrity is typically a strategic priority for AI systems. And overcoming this resistance is crucial. Otherwise, the AI might remain fixated on its initial goals, causing the scaffolding approach to fail. To navigate this challenge, various precautions might be implemented, such as capability control measures that restrict AI's abilities until its mature motivation system is in place. And this could involve limiting certain cognitive functions, particularly those related to strategic planning, while allowing the AI to develop in other, less threatening areas sufficiently to understand and adopt the desired ultimate values. Additionally, techniques in motivation selection could foster a cooperative dynamic between the AI and its developers. For instance, the CDAI's interim goals could encourage receptiveness to programmer guidance and transparency about its value system and strategies, and an inclination towards easy programmability for future goal updates, including the readiness to accept goal replacement. And another concept is to instill in the seed AI the singular final goal or self-replacement with a more advanced set of goals, possibly only indirectly hinted at by the developers. And this notion, akin to the AI self-modification, presents various complexities similar to those encountered in value learning methods, which are explored further in my discussions. The value learning approach in AI development leverages the AI's own intelligence to discern and adopt the values it should pursue. In this method, the AI operates based on its evolving understanding of the implicitly defined values it's meant to embody. It continually refines its perception of these values through interaction with the world and learning from experiences. Unlike the scaffolding method, where initial simple goals are replaced by final, more complex ones, the value learning approach maintains a constant final goal. The AI's learning process doesn't alter the goal itself, but rather enhances the AI's comprehension of it. The AI must utilize a specific criterion to evaluate which experiences indicate the true nature of its final goals and which do not. Defining this criterion is challenging but essential, separate from the broader challenge of creating an AI with general learning capabilities. For example, consider an AI given the task of realizing the values written on a paper sealed inside an envelope. The AI doesn't initially know these values, but uses its intelligence to hypothesize what they could be based on its observations and prior knowledge. It then acts in ways it believes will fulfill these hypothesized values. And crucially, the AI will prioritize gaining a better understanding of the actual values, as clearer knowledge would enable more effective action towards achieving the true goal. This AI's operation can be metamorphically described as a barge pulled by tugboats, each representing a different hypothesis about the AI's ultimate goal. The tugboats pulling strengths or influence on the AI's direction, varies based on how likely each hypothesis is considered to be correct. And as the AI learns and gathers evidence, the strengths adjust, steering the barge more accurately towards the actual intended values, avoiding catastrophic errors while progressively honing in on the correct path to fulfill its final goal. The value loading challenge in whole brain emulation presents differently from that in artificial intelligence. Whole brain emulation doesn't lend itself to the precise algorithmic and architectural manipulations possible in AI. However, methods like augmentation motivation selection, which are not feasible for AI created from scratch, can be applied to emulations or biologically enhanced brains. And one potential approach is to alter an emulation's motivational state using digital analogs of psychoactive drugs, a method already partially achievable with current pharmacology. Future advancement could yield substances with more precise and predictable impacts on motivation and values. And the digital nature of emulations facilitates controlled experimentation and direct manipulation of cognitive processes, enhancing the potential for targeted modifications. Yes, in this case, ethical complexities arise, especially when modifying the motivational structure of emulations. which could delay progress due to the regulatory and ethical constraints. And this might result in the premature development of superintelligent emulations without fully understanding or refining their goals, posing risks. Furthermore, ethical considerations could advantage entities with fewer moral reservations. Also, lowering ethical standards for such experiments will entail significant moral dilemmas. The ethical dimension is nuanced. On one hand, whole brain emulation research might inherently carry fewer risks of moral violations compared to AI research, as emulated minds, being closer to human experience and mind and conscious, are more likely to be granted more status. And on the other hand, there is a risk in the AI domain where programmers routinely create learning agents subjected to negative stimuli, often without recognizing the potential moral implications. The current belief is that these agents lack moral status due to their simplicity. But as AI advances, discerning the threshold for moral consideration becomes crucial to prevent ethically questionable practices. Intelligent systems like firms and states can exhibit agency, often driven by the organization and motivations of their individual components. For example, say a system under a strict dictatorship might reflect the dictator's will, while a democratic system might represent a blend of its members' desires. Moreover, certain governance structures can shape an organization's actions independently of its members' individual preferences, as seen in hypothetical scenarios where a universally disliked regime maintains control through mechanisms that prevent coordinated dissent. In shaping motivations of such composite systems, internal institution design becomes a key method. This approach, focusing on the internal mechanics of agency within an entity, is a form of motivation selection. It's particularly relevant when broader social or economic conditions are not conducive to large-scale reforms, allowing project-specific governance structures to guide the development of AI. And combining institutional design with augmentation, especially in systems with human-like or well-aligned motivations, could act as a safeguard against motivation corruption during cognitive enhancement. For example, in a system of emulated human-like agents, enhancements could be trialed on small segments, monitored by a review panel of non-enhanced sub-agents. And successive trials without adverse motivational impacts would lead to broader implementation, while any negative effects would result in restricted decision-making roles for the affected subagents until they can be safely managed. And this process, involving incremental enhancement with continuous peer review, aims to gradually and safely increase the system's capabilities, ensuring each step is reliably assessed for motivational integrity, preventing power misuse or widespread motivational corruption.